Nick Williams, originally from New Zealand, Samoan background. Played rugby for 16, 17 years and finished up here in Cardiff, in sunny Cardiff, or sunny Barbados as we call it. I had a cardiac arrest last September on the 30th, and thank God for the crew here at Wales Air Ambulance for coming through and saving my life.
So I'm James, and 2 months before Nick's cardiac arrest, I had my testimonial match, which I was raising money for the Wales Air Ambulance. Nick kindly played in that game, and yeah, Nick, can you tell us about that day, what you remember of the cardiac arrest?
Oh, if I'm honest, nothing.
Nothing?
Literally nothing. The last thing I remember was the night before. I was watching a movie with my wife, and yeah, I don't recall anything. No memory flashes or back flashes. Just all I remember is waking up at the Heath, and my brother was there, and asking him what he was doing there, and he said, "Yeah, I got knocked out," and I said, "Oh, did we win the game?"
Yeah.
I thought I was still playing, and he goes, "No, mate, you had a bit of a cardiac arrest." So, it's extremely scary times. It's been a tough 6 months, and considering we played that 2 months before that.
Yeah.
But as ever, mate, I'm just trying to keep positive and upbeat, and always grateful for these guys.
You're looking well, mate. And I think I was speaking to Gemma downstairs, your wife, and she said the day you're basically going on to your mate Jason's house for him to witness a new passport, is it? And just by stroke of luck, you found you at the back, was it?
That's only the beginning, Hooky, mate. Like, I wasn't supposed to take my kids to school and wasn't supposed to drive Gemma to work. That day I chose to. And then when I was at her work, she said, remember, I don't recall anything, she said, "Oh, I need you to go to my friend Jason's house, who's a police officer, to be a witness for my daughter's passport." He wasn't supposed to work from home. He didn't know I was coming over. And where I collapsed in his backyard, which was behind a table, the only thing you can see from a certain angle is my shoes. And that day he decided to walk the dog, and where the dog lead was where he could see my shoes. Came out, performed CPR, and the superheroes come through and did the rest.
I know firsthand how important the Wales Air Ambulance are. They picked up my eldest boy when he was a few months old, and I suppose you only appreciate the Air Ambulance when you need them, and you realise how important they are. So how does it feel to see Elliot, who was obviously there on the day, and Ryan, who's downstairs? How does it feel to see these guys today? It's the first time you've seen them since, isn't it?
Yeah. Myself and Laura behind the scenes we've been Instagramming each other, for the last couple of months, just to try and set up what is today. Just extremely grateful and get a bit emotional, and I wanted to bring my kids through to see who saved Daddy's life and what the real superheroes look like, and it's absolutely magic, mate. And these are things, like you said, people do take for granted until you need it.
Yeah.
And as an outsider, as an adopted Welshman, I'd like to say, I couldn't love the place more than I now have. Considering, thankfully for these guys.
And Nick said, Elliot, he can't remember a great deal about the day. So can you tell us, from your perspective, what you remember and how the day went?
Yeah, sure. So myself, Ryan, who you've met downstairs, and our colleague Kaz Arter, we were on shift here. I think it was the 30th of September. It was about 11 o'clock in the morning, roughly, give or take. The phone rang, and one of our colleagues who was on the critical care desk in the ambulance control room said, "I've got a tasking for you. It's a gentleman in cardiac arrest in the general area of Cardiff and the Vale." We ran down to the aircraft, jumped in, fired it up, and flew across the bay. Landed on the sort of cliff top just in front of the row of houses where you'd had your cardiac arrest. Yep. And we went on foot then from the helicopter to the house. When we arrived, the ambulance service were there. So your mate Jace was there. He'd been doing CPR on you until the ambulance crew got there. And at the point where we walked into the back garden, you were still on the floor, and you literally just had your fourth shock off defibrillator with the ambulance crew. And pretty much as we were setting down our kit and getting a history and a handover of what had happened, they'd sort of declared at that point that the shock had worked and your heart had started beating again. As a service, we bring a lot of advanced care and interventions that would normally only be delivered in a hospital setting to people.
So Elliot, following on from the shocks, what happened next?
So at that point we took a handover from the ambulance crew. We made an assessment of Nick, and we decided at that point the best thing to do is to put a breathing tube down. So you had a breathing tube put down. At that point then you put onto one of our ventilators, which took over your breathing, and we gave you some medicines to keep you asleep and to help the ventilator take over your breathing. We were also able to do some extra tests as well. So we did quite an advanced blood test on you called a blood gas, which is again something that would normally only be available in the hospital. Because there are things that we can pick up from that sometimes can tell us why someone's had a cardiac arrest. And you also had an ultrasound scan of your heart as well. So once you were stable and you were established on the ventilator, and we were happy that your heart was beating normally again, then we made a decision to take you to the cardiac centre in University Hospital of Wales.
Did you have any symptoms leading up to it, Nick? Obviously, in my testimonial, you were flying. You were unbelievable. And then, was there anything prior to it? Or?
Nothing. But it's amazing in hindsight. I look back at it now, and I thought I had what was gout. You know, because structurally my ankle's damaged from you taking my legs all the time. You know?
It won't be, I can guarantee you that.
But yeah, it's amazing because once I got the treatment and from the hospital and everything physically now is fine. I haven't had any symptoms of it. I spoke to specialists and all that, and they said, look, there could be some correlation between it.
Since the cardiac arrest, obviously physically, but mentally, have you been okay? Or
that's the struggle, bro. That has been by far the biggest. This is the biggest struggle I've had, ever in my life. But we got a good support network, within rugby as well as outside of rugby. My 3 daughters are my reasons why, and my beautiful wife. And like coming here today, this is a massive pickup for me. I was thinking, will it trigger some kind of thoughts? But if anything, it's like I said, I got a bit emotional downstairs, and no, it's been fantastic. But the mental struggle is the mental battle is the one I'm looking forward to smashing.
And obviously physically for yourself, but we mentioned Gemma and the girls. How have they been?
Yeah, my wife she's a trooper.
Yeah.
She does obviously a lot of things behind the scenes. My kids are probably at an age where they kind of understand, but then don't understand. But that's why we brought them through today, for them to, I always call these guys daddy superheroes. But my wife has definitely, she struggled a bit, but like I said, we've got a good support network.
And if you could leave one last message for the Wales Air Ambulance and the crew, like Elliot, what they've done for you, is there anything you'd like to say?
Yeah, mate, I think I couldn't put it in words, to be honest, mate. It's just, I feel extremely blessed and really humbled to have like yourselves and everybody in the, under this roof. It's just probably things we take for granted, I think, as the normal Joe public. But yeah, I'll always be grateful, for everything that you guys done for me, and it goes on beyond me, goes to my kids and my wife and my family back in New Zealand and in Samoa, and just the whole wider community. So thanks, bro, really appreciate it.
And I think at the end of the day for us, cases like Nick's are why we do what we do.
Yeah.
Not every case that we go to ends as well as Nick's, but it's a great honour for us to meet people like Nick, who are, effectively the product of our hard work when we get to see them with their families come and visit us. It's quite amazing.
No, you're amazing, mate. And it's great to see you looking so well, Nick, and wish you all the best, pal.
Cheers,
honestly.
brother. Cheers, bro.
Nice one.
Appreciate it.
Top man.
Thanks, bro.